All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. We had a very wild reaction to the ISM services today. We've been talking about it, but that, alongside some other news, has created a pretty wild reaction. And now I wanted to make a watch list for you. That's why I'm even trying a new setup here. But then I got a better idea. And I thought I would break the format so we could focus on one big thing that happened today, and that was China banning iPhones. So the title here, it is not clickbait, but to give you more context, the Chinese government announced today that iPhones will not be allowed in government offices. If that sounds familiar to you, I mean, we've done something similar. You may remember TikTok. We banned TikTok from government phones. They said you cannot bring an iPhone into any Chinese government building. So why is this important? That's what I want to talk about. There is a lot of context behind this. So what we need to start with is a company called Huawei. Why? Because they did something yesterday, and the fact that this happened today, it is not a coincidence. But what happened with it was that Huawei announced that they're releasing a new phone. If you don't know who Huawei is, they are the fake iPhone. They have literally copied the iPhone, and then eventually the United States said for national security, we are sanctioning you guys and you cannot get access to parts. They said you are not allowed to sell parts to Huawei anymore. It's a national security risk. It was a big deal a couple of years ago. It was so much of a big deal, and they didn't get access to parts that this is the new phone they announced yesterday. This was their first phone in a couple of years that they have ever released. They have not released a phone since this one, and now today they're saying, well, yeah, Apple, you can't use those anymore, but there's a new Huawei. So it says a lot about the consumer or consumer behavior there, as well as what's going on with the government. But, you know, why this is so important. And if you haven't seen Apple today, they dropped like almost 4%. They even had issues today with like the European Union and the plugins. But even this China stuff, why this is such a big deal, because a lot of their China sales started ramping when Huawei got banned. Now Huawei has another phone, and now China, their economy is sputtering. Things are, again, just don't forget, that's part of this. Is it one thing hurting Apple? Yes, but keep in mind all of the issues with China. If anything can spur that economy, especially like a state-owned Apple, I mean, that could say a lot there. But now, I mean, I'm skipping to the point. The question is, what does this mean for growth in China related to Apple, but now any other company, especially if this is the direction China starts taking? Now, that's one part of the whole story here. It's how China responds in the future, what it's saying about them, how this could affect global growth. But now the final thing that I want to bring up about it is very, very simple. Something big is happening in China, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know, tell me if you like this video. And I think I might just start going through it. This is when you know, but it's like if the Yuan keeps weakening from here, you're hearing about Country Garden, you're hearing about, what's the other one? Evergrande, there's another one that came out, and then the wealth funds and their economy and the recovery, not recovery. I mean, I'm telling you, we could go down the list, but there's a lot going on. They even intervened the strongest on their currency today. The yen is showing another problem. It's like, this is what I brought up today. Look at the yen. Look at the yuan, right? They're breaking out. They're at these levels. We brought this up yesterday too, but then the dollar, why isn't the dollar as high if other major currencies like China and Japan, why are they like that? Well, take a look at Europe. The euro and the pound are still up. So those have a big impact on the dollar as well. And that's why I'm saying we may not feel it yet. We may not see it, but it's clear now something's happening with China, even to the point, that's what I'm saying with this video, they're pulling Huawei out of the bag. Dude, you have not heard of Huawei in a long, long time. And now even doing moves like we've done, again, we've banned Huawei, we've banned the chips, and by going through this, they're copying us. It's giving us an idea into their playbook, but at the same time, just like rate cuts, what I'm trying to say here is when they start responding, altering their currency how they haven't in a while, and now bringing this out, I mean, they're like one step shy, if not, it may have already happened, from pretty much, they're announcing to the world something is happening, and they are scrambling. So That's what I wanted to bring up today. That's what I wanted to talk about. And thankfully, the rest of the week is just China data. It's China and Japan, very big data sets. That'll move it all. And then we go from there. As far as plays, I'm not going to leave you without plays. Very simple. I added 300 shares of Pfizer to the flips. So I'm in at like 30 something. I got to double check though. It's like 36, I think. I'm still down like 4% on it after the average down. But I also added it for the long term, and why I like it. There is a health conference this week, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, and I think Goldman. You're going to hear a lot, and I think all of watch even NVO and Eli Lilly. You're going to hear a lot about the GLP-1 and Ozempic drugs, and even Pfizer. They said something about it here today too, and that's why I like it. I like the value. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but we already did on stream. But for the most part, I made my first position. It was only one deposit, and then I'm going to look to build around it. But even for the rest of this week, as we are figuring out what September brings, man, I think we're going to watch healthcare, at least as it correlates with the events, or just kind of chill back and ride until we get Powell and see where September's taking us, because it's going to be crazy. But Chad, that's it, man. That's it. That's all. That's it. I can take you with me now. I told you I was gonna walk around. That's why I say I want to mix it up, but I hope I explained a little to you. I hope it makes sense. I don't know. The audio is not as fresh, but it is what it is, man. I'll see you in the morning. God bless you. God bless Chadadonia, and good night. Good night. Good night. All right. It's not as awkward. I can't be that. You need to get me yelling. I don't want to leave though. That's why I say I'm gonna go down now. Can I take you with me? No, that'd be too. All right. I'm gonna leave now. Horn, baby.